Welcome, blue-collar preppers. This is Apocabox unboxing number 7. This makes one full year of Apocabox unboxings that I've done for you. So enough talking, let's just get to the good stuff. I'm trying a new format here. Let me know if you like it. Hopefully you'll be able to better see what I'm doing here. But I've still got to learn the new dimensions. So first up, join Creek on his next adventure, Escape the Woods, September 12th and 13th. This sounds great. I've become a fan of Creek Stewart and his Fat Guys in the Woods series. I would love to attend and learn things from him, but he's in Ohio, or this course is in Ohio, and I'm in Florida, and I'm poor, and I can't attend, but maybe you can. If you want to, you register at escapethewoods.com. And I can practically guarantee you're going to have a good time because he's a great instructor. So, let's see what's in here. And I'm going to be going by the order of the contents list, so if I jump around, that's why. So, first up is the, I think it's pronounced Eye Schwash Personal Eye Wash, because there's a little eye. I'll take it out of the package. There's a little I, and then everything else is capitalized. So, you know, iPod, iMac, iSquash. And this is for first aid in case you need to rinse anything out of your eye, whether it's a bug, a bit of dirt, some ash, you got hit in the eye with a branch. And you put this on, this little hose, and you've got threads that will attach to just about any squeeze bottle. So you put that on, you put this up against your eye, narrow part toward the nose, and you squeeze that bottle, and the water comes out. You can't really see the holes here, but you've got two little jets, and it'll go that way, and it'll just get your eye in a crossfire, and you can rinse it out. And the sheet says that eye care is something that's really overlooked in survival. And I have to agree, this took me completely by surprise. Everyone in my family wears eyeglasses, so we don't normally get things in our eyes. But that's really no excuse. That just means we'd be even more unprepared for it if something happened. So this is not going in my bug-out bag. This is going in my family home medical kit. And then when I save up the money, I'm going to get another one and then put that one in my bug-out bag. And I like this mostly because I hadn't thought of it. And the Apocabox just clued me into something I didn't know anything about. And that's one reason I subscribe. There's always at least one thing in the box that makes me go, hey, cool, I didn't know that existed. And I like that. So this, $12.99. Sounds like a good deal. Two Ursa Major face washes, $3. And, okay, their face washes are handy. They're not sexy, but they're good for cleanliness. And there are two of them so that you can wash, according to the sheet here, the first wipe is for your face, your neck, your armpits, and your feet in that order. And the second is for your unmentionables, it says, wiping from front to back. So you've got some basic cleanliness, make you feel a little bit more human when you're out in the woods and getting all sticky and stinky. I heart knives. Well, who doesn't? This is a PVC patch with Velcro on the back. If you love knives, you can put it on Velcro. If you don't love knives, you can give it to someone who does. It's worth $5, this says. I wouldn't pay $5 for it. I'm cheap. But other people might. This sticker, there's no price to it at all. That means it's free. That's my kind of price. I'll take it out of the plastic here. It's the Day Zero Bowmaker's Guide. And it's an instruction manual on how to make bows in the field, but it's not just instructions on how to make one bow. You can make 6 of them from various materials. The one that interests me the most is you can make one from a cargo pallet. And as you can see, it's pictographic. Lots of useful illustrations. And if you're a visual learner like I am, this is so much easier than just reading instructions. My one complaint here is that, and I don't know how well you can see this, don't know if that'll focus, but the writing is just a little bit too cramped, and it's hard for me to read. I would have preferred nice, easy-to-read block printing. But it's a really useful resource. I didn't know how to make a bow before. And if you combine it with something that was in the previous Apocabox, instant bowstring, dun 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 dun, you can now make a bow in the wilderness. That's really nifty. So, the instruction guide, $12. Paracord pack leash, $3. And it's just your basic length of paracord. You've got a clip on one side and a split ring on the other. So like for keys, put your keys on here, clip this to your belt. That's one way to do it. Another thing you can do is you can clip this onto your pack. In the instruction book, Creek says that one thing he likes to do is he likes to put the clip thing onto a pot of water, onto the little loop, it's called a bail, and then suspend the hook, suspend the loop from a hook or from a branch, and boil water. Now, this looks rather flat. I have paracord bracelets, and they're usually quite thick, so I tore this apart a little bit, and paracord is supposed to be 7-strand, and I don't know if you can see 1, 2, 3, I think I'm only counting 6, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm only counting 6. So that could account for the thinness. But, you know, it's still paracord. It's still useful. You can just use it for its intention. I don't know how long this is if you unfurled it. I don't know, 12 feet maybe? But hey, it's $3. It's useful. I like that. Glow-in-the-dark paracord, since we're talking about paracord. Now, it's really hard to have too much paracord. I mean, maybe if you were on fire or drowning, but paracord is neat. This is a length of 25 feet, and, I'm sorry, 50 feet, and it glows in the dark. And it's only $9.99, and that's really neat. And so you can take this paracord and you can wrap it around things so you can find them in the dark. You can string a path to the bathroom so that you don't get lost or trip over things. Use this for your tie-downs for your tent and you won't trip over them in the night, and that's great. But here's where I get picky. You'll notice it's not 550 cord, it's 350 cord. Even though it says 7-strand paracord. Well, if it's 7-strand, then it needs to be 550, and it's not. And then it says not a lifeline. So it's kind of like paracord, but it's not actual paracord. I got to take points away for that. The End of Days Survival card. This is just thin gauge metal, and it'll be hard for you to figure out. Let's try this. Yeah, that's a lot easier for you to see. So it's just thin gauge steel. I mean, I can bend it. And these are not primary survival tools by any means, but it's the size of a credit card and it weighs basically nothing. Put it in your wallet, forget about it. You've got something. And so I'm going to include a link to something that describes what all these things are. But I'll give you a quick breakdown. So you've got a broadhead arrow here. So hey, you've made the bow in the woods, now you've got an arrow. Some sort of small game. I don't know if that's an arrow or if that's a gig for stabbing. But apparently it's good for frogs and quail and things like that. You got two little needles. Good for sewing. You've got a bunch of fish hooks. You've got 4 single fish hooks and then 4 double fish hooks. You've got, I think they're called snare tensioners. You put them on snare wire. You bend them. I can't explain it really well. Hopefully you'll get a video at the link to show you how to do it. And this is actually not the frame. These are more tools. You've got a little saw here with the fine blade and the rough blade, and I don't know how good this is. I mean, I could probably bend this in half, but it's a saw. This right here, that is a little trident spear. You're supposed to bend this. You wrap it around a pole and you form a 3-prong thing for stabbing and fishing. This bottom thing, that is an awl, A-W-L, basically a needle for sewing. And this part right here, those are supposed to be tweezers. And so you punch it out, you bend it into a little U shape, and then you squeeze to make tweezers. I don't really know how good that's going to be, but if you don't have anything else with you except this, and you really need tweezers, well, maybe you'd be happy to have it. So it's more of a curiosity and emergency backup than anything else. $24.95 seems kind of overpriced to me, but okay. John Russell sheath knife, curiously lacking a sheath. So this looks like a very interesting blade. It's got character. The sheet says it oozes history. I personally wouldn't want a knife that oozes anything, but it looks like it's got a variety of uses. It can take a beating. It's got a nice, I think that's a respectably thick spine, good for batoning. You can slice, you can carve, you can whittle with it. No finger guards, again, so be very careful if you're poking with it. I'm not a fan of the rough texture. I would coat it with paracord or stain it or do something with it. Nice brass rivets, so this thing can take a beating. It's made of high carbon steel. I don't know what kind of, well, I don't know what particular flavor of high carbon steel it is. That's the only thing I know. So why do we have a sheath knife without a sheath? Well, that is this month's skill challenge. You are supposed to make a sheath for this knife, and if you go to the website, I'll try and include a link if I can get it to work. And if you go there, you will see patterns, and there are 4 of them, and you can make a sheath out of cardboard and duct tape. You can make a sheath out of an old welcome mat. You can make a sheath out of seat belts, which seems interesting. And if you are good with carving, you can make some with wood, make a box sheath. That seems interesting. And in order to do that, to complete the skills challenge, you need the Speedy Stitcher. And it's called a sewing awl. Again, that word that I have trouble pronouncing. An awl is just a big-ass needle that's good for poking through things. And this is good. Well, this will do canvas and sail material and tents and leather, and so when you use it, it will not be pretty. Anything you sew up is going to look like the Frankenstein monster, or you've just finished an autopsy, but it will hold. It will be ugly, but it will work. If you want pretty, you'll have to get finer thread and get a needle and do it properly, but this will sew just about anything you need. If it'll go through leather, then it'll work for you. I have one similar to this. It's really great. Now I have two. This one is $14.99. And so you've got the screw-on collar. There's your thread. And the thread runs through here around this tensioner into the back. And in back is your spool. It comes in both coarse and fine. I believe this one is coarse. And you have two needles, a straight one and a curved one. There you go. And so using it is rather easy until I try to do it on camera. So you thread the needle, put the needle in the collar, put the cap on, leave that free and loose, screw it down to make it tight, and then to sew you punch it through, and when you pull out it ought to, I caught it, ought to feed some out, and you poke it again and you loop it through. Follow the instructions, it'll make a heck of a lot more sense than what I'm saying. And then you can sew it up and fix whatever got torn. This is a fantastic thing to have. And now I have two of them. $14.99, worth every single penny. And the sheath knife, $17.99. I think I forgot to mention that. So add them all up, and you've got $103.91. Comes out to, well, all right, let's round it up to $104. So $104 worth of goods in this package, so it says. I don't really know that I'd pay $25 for this or $5 for this. But on the whole, I am happy with what I'm getting. Comes out to, with shipping, it's $60 every 2 months, so $30 a month. Oh, and that reminds me. There used to be shredded wood in here. Now it's shredded paper. This is a cost-saving measure. Creek has a disclaimer here, and apparently his supplier increased the price, and because he didn't want to increase the price of the Apocabox or include fewer items, he went to the paper. And paper is just another form of wood. It's just not as fuel dense, but it's recyclable, it's biodegradable, you can burn it. So that's interesting. Heck, you can even break down the box and use that for fuel. So if I'm getting this right, I think I need to ask that you like, comment, and share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm still new at this YouTube thing. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in October for Apocabox number 8.